Hello everybody, I hope this message finds you well. To my return viewers, thank you, and to my new viewers, welcome. My information is in the description box should you need to get in contact with me. To start off today, I want to talk about, because I get asked a lot about the 3-eye atlas. And I know everybody has their perceptions and everybody has their perspectives of what this is. So this morning as I was channeling, because I have been picking up the magnetic resonance that it's going to bring, the shift that it's bringing. Those who don't know me, those who do know me, only understand me from their perspective. However, those who I interact with a lot know that I have a knack of converting some things to what we will call layman's terms. So I asked my spirit guides today, can you please convert it into layman's terms for me? Explain it to me. And a mist started to envelop me. And this is the information I got, and I wrote it down. It is from channeling. I'm going to try to highlight, if for some reason I start to channel through this, any differences, you will know. If not, I'm going to go ahead and touch on the notes that I feel inclined to share. But I'm going to go ahead. Now, one thing I do want to put forth to you is that one of my spirit guides, Grandfather Running Wolf, he is the one that stepped forward and he brought it to me. And he basically explained to me, well, what I heard first was my spirit moves through the mist, shows me pictures of this life human. And there was quotations around human, this life human. Now, Grandfather showed me a coyote, and he showed me what he called the Great Hyoka. And this coyote was white, and I think it had gray on it. I'm not really sure about that. It could have been like a, dirt. I don't know. But soft paw is what I was getting. Soft paw. And, as in paw, pad, paw. And I was getting that, and the eyes of the coyote, blue, red, and gold, they would flash different colors. But what I got from it was, if you know what a Hyoka is they are a great trickster. They can be considered, a clown. Their life lessons, Native Americans used to value the lessons or look at the coyote as a lesson bringer, okay? So I got the coyote, the Great Hyoka. Now, what does this mean for the 3-eye atlas? What does this have to do with that? Well, this got a lot to do with the lessons, but it's also a trickster energy. If you look at the earth and being human, we are very much a planet of duality. And we are in a time period, and the way that they showed me is they have to use references that I am familiar with. So they showed me Laura Croft, which they've showed me this before when I ask about Atlas, so they're pretty much well being consistent. They showed me Laura Croft. I don't know which one it was, but it was the one with the timekeeper and the grain of sand where time stood still, and she was moving in between and the grain of sand, because we've got time is enfolding on itself. And as it was showing me, it was because I do not get into quantum physics, and I won't pretend that I even understand a lot of it. So what they showed me was that moving in between and going back and clearing some things. You can't go back and fix it, but your decisions today are basing your future, but at the same time it's kind of clearing your past, is what I was seeing. So there, it's correcting your past. Is if you remember the one part, she actually caught the knife that killed the one gentleman. So we can't go back in time, you know, but what it was showing me was that the way that the past and the future, everything is simultaneous. And right now we are in that grain of sand. We're in that in between. We're in that 0 point. We have and are correcting things if we are in the right frame of energy. So let me explain that. So what's happening is that our frequency, our vibration, if you are hanging, there is the energy of duality. There is a contradicting energy that does not want to see humanity sovereign and free. Okay? This is the life human. The Hopi pretty much will state we have 7 turns. As I've stated before in some of my previous videos, we're going into our 5th turn. That is what I feel, is that we're going into our 5th turn. Now, human consciousness in a whole is a single, but it is many layers, and not all of us are on the same layer. However, when the consciousness comes together, it's pretty much the highest energy is what propels us forward, which I'll get to that in a second. So the coyote, the great Heoka. So we have 2 contradicting energies. So they flip me to the 5th element. The 5th element, you know, you had all your elements. You had that dark star. She actually shot the dark star away with love. All right. But what it was is I got like a key. There's going to be a key that is going to help humanity that will unfold. All right. So this is what I got, and I'm going to go ahead and read some of it to you in some of the notes, and you can break down and comment what you feel or how you interpret it. I'm going to give it to you how I interpret it. All right, so they cannot define what you call 3-eye atlas. It is many in one, sent by a source before your time. And it says many layers will unfold. Its spirit power is the messenger, and it's bearing its gifts. Layer by layer, human consciousness will decide. And that's kind of what I was saying. And they showed me the salamander. And if you look at the King of Wands, that fire energy, that's the kind of energy. It's a purification energy is how I was picking it up. So, it's an energy of regeneration for some. So I was getting all kinds of things. So let's see. For you will be, okay, so there is a deceiver. So there is a trickster energy. So what they told me, and it was so weird because I heard it to stay away from the window. And a lot of times they will communicate things to me in lyrics, song lyrics. You can never understand me by my playlist because your perception may totally be wrong when it comes to my playlist, because I actually receive messages sometimes during songs. They work with me. It helps me get into certain frequencies, and it helps me to transform certain energies. So this morning, I was like, stay away from the window. And then I got to thinking about it. You're going to want to stay away from your window, your phone. You're going to want to stay away from the drama, because from what I was gathering is that there is going to be trickster energy. There's going to be things that are revealed that are lies. There are things that are going to happen with and around you, world stage, personal lives, trickster energy. It is an energy, they want to keep you, and by they, it is the ones who want to enslave, or the energy of being trapped on this wheel. Some of you have heard the great solar flash, where you will be able, the light, you will be able to move on forward to your light bodies, which we've been getting. I won't get into all that right now. Any rate, what I'm getting is that there is a struggle within the dualities right now. And within this struggle and the dualities, you have a transformation, you have a change. It is inevitable. Where we land, technology and chaos, and you have nature and spirit. So some of us will walk in between. Some of us will arrive in the frequency of nature and spirit, and some of us will arrive in technology and chaos that will be caught in that drama. This is a time of integration. This is the time of, Viscous one, the sacred geometry in the center, in the center. That connection, the integration. So I was picking that up, the integration of it passing. So you're going to have the technology and chaos, and you're going to have the nature and spirit, but some will be the bridge and walk in between. But you've got these struggling dualities right now. You've got a struggle for power, and that's the king energy. I did not give the reading for the king energy yet. I will. I was unaware until I went in scrolling one day and found out that there was a King's Day or something, and I didn't want to get into that energy because my king energy is a little bit different. All right. So at any rate, they are trying to change the frequency and where you belong. Now, when I asked, it was like the population is decreasing, the humans are decreasing, and what's happening is the fill-in will be with AI, almost seamless, to where you won't notice it as much as you would if you did not have AI. AI is going to fill in the gaps, okay? AI could be your best friend if you embrace it. There will be those that won't, though. So right now there's an integration, there is a breaking, but right now humanity is struggling as to how and where we are going to evolve. Once we get through, there's going to be almost like a break. I'm not really sure this is going to be as grand as they showed it to me, but it was like a psychotic break when the illusions drop. And when the things start to really crumble and start to really burn, and I did see things burning, I seen water, I seen topography changes, I seen all this stuff taking place. But from the 19th, from the 29th, the 19th, and on through March to April, so you have this influence from the 3-eye atlas. It is a messenger. It is a harbinger. It is the cedar. So right now, I'm also getting purifier. It is the coyote. And with it, it brings lessons. With it brings transformation. With it brings change. But it is a duality. It will pick you apart. If you haven't done your shadow work to move forward, you will be doing your shadow work. A lot of you will start to see start to bring up the past if you're not letting go of certain things that you've held on to that are putting you in a lower vibration. Then it's going to that's where you're going to end up, is in that lower vibration. So let me go on. They were showing me things about the coyote, like stealing chickens. We're in that stealing chickens from the hen house. I already said the soft paw, running, crossing your path. A lot of times when the coyote crossed your path, they would turn around. They wouldn't, because it was a warning, and they wouldn't pass that. They wouldn't go. It's almost similar to the black cat crossing your path. You know, bad luck. Some people wouldn't do it. That's kind of similar with the coyote. If they saw a coyote running across their path, they would turn around and go back. The coyote is a great trickster, and I'm getting that struggling energy, the duality energy, with the coyote. So I've got things going on here, folks. So let's see where this goes. So we've got, they were showing me that this is going to open up discovery, like keys to a dead language, the integration. But they were showing me like civilizations like Pompeii. I don't know if there's going to be, because they kept showing me topography changes, but they kept showing me smoke, ash, and water. You know, it could be a lot of things. I know we've got Neptune. We've got a lot of things going on. Any rate, you want to clear your mind. And I know this is like Ghostbusters, where they tell you to keep your mind clear, and next thing you know, you've got that, you know, marshmallow man coming at you, like, you know, whatever. But intentional thought, focus, and just make sure that you are staying in the positive and not the negative. Do your work. If you have to, you know, have a visual of a conversation with somebody who is not really there, like a holograph, you know, do it. You know, free yourself, because right now it's a time of sovereignty. It's a time of purity, and that's where you want to go. You know, it's like that chariot. The chariot energy is not really spiritual. It is nature and spirit. It is about dominion. It is about integration. It is a fast-moving energy, and that's what we're in right now with this 3AI Atlas. And, you know, some people are like, you know, is it an alien craft? Is it what? It's consciousness. It is conscious. It was sent here by Source way before our time to get here at exactly this time. Some people might, I call it the harbinger, the messenger. You know, it is right now propelling us forward. It is bringing a shift with it, a shift in mindset. Some will not be on this mindset. You've got to remember that Earth is duality. It's what makes it so difficult. All right. So you've got that going on. Trickster, time, running out of time. Some of you may be feeling like you're running out of time, or time is running out. You know, no. I mean, there are the 7 turns, but for right now, in this span of time, humans are evolving to become stewards for when they are on the other, you know, planets. There is humanity. Some people argue that the consciousness of humanity in itself will go extinct. No, it will not. All right. So you have. So what they're saying is, a lot of times people hang up on a lot of the stuff that they're hearing, and, you know, wish they would have had more time, and that they would have enjoyed their life. And that's the kind of thing that you want to look to now, is you want to stay away from the window, which means stay away from the screen, stay away from the screen time. I mean, it's no coincidence that, you know, like, some of your iPhones have the Apple, you know, Garden of Eden, the cloud, the iClouds, the Christ consciousness coming in the clouds. You know, it's all symbolism. Everything is symbolism. But stay away from the window is definitely telling me that you should disconnect from what is going to transpire. If you are not a moving part due to, you know, reincarnation, coming back, you know, a Templar, a Crusader, a warrior, and you are now moving the board, the pieces on the board, if you are not part of that, detract yourself from it. Go to remember the trickster energy. Go to question everything, be still, pause. This is bringing a shift, a rather large shift. Think the fifth element. You want to operate everything in love, everything from kindness. And I know people are like, you know, I am kind, I am love. Try to have an open mind in your perspective. Everybody's perspective is different. Everybody's perspective changes. It isn't today what it was yesterday. You know, they could have found more information, garnered more information. You know, read, listen to music, laugh, you know, look out, you know, get outside, feel the sun, feel the sun. They don't want you to feel the sun. There's a lot of downloads going on right now. It is lighting up the star seeds. All right, you've got all that hidden energy that is pouring down right now that they are trying to desperately block with the geoseeding and the geoengineering. All right, you've got to remember that there are forces that are operating in this world that do not want to see humanity leave or evolve. They want to keep you in a fear state, a power state, you know, control state, to where it's easier to keep you enslaved. They feed off your energy. You know, some people call it loosh. You know, I don't know. All I know is they're feeding off you. And they will continue to do so as long as you allow it. So regain your sovereignty, claim your power, take it back, and disconnect. Stay away from the window. If you are on your computer, make it educational, make it lifting, movies, laughter, things that, you know, I'm not talking about deciphering it with, you know, hidden symbolism, things that make you laugh, you know. And it's how you bear the load. And sometimes I have dark humor, so it's how I bear it. All right, so it's my support beam. So that's what I do. So any rate, we've got let's see, on the 5th I was seeing beat your drums. So it doesn't matter with the beaver moon. It's the energy of putting forth good intentions, good vibrations, love. Beat your drums. If you make a drum, beat something, you know, like the plastic. Now, people, all right, don't take me there. All right, beat your drums, or, you know, take a plastic thing and just tap on it, clap above your head, clap around you. Bring that intentional, your thought, your mindset, bring that intentional energy in. This is the coyote. This is the coyote. This is the coyote that is coming in before. Now, this is just the messenger, the seeds that you are planting right now are very, very important. They should not be self-serving. They should be of service. So that's kind of the information I was getting. The Weaver energy, the Norns energy. This is all for humanity as a collective whole, all right? Think the 5th element. Think Laura Croft, the time, the grain of sand, where we are going to go. They want to steal time so they can manipulate time, all right? Look at CERN. Look at the looking glass. Look at, you know, the looking glass. A lot of people don't realize the looking glass, and you're going to see a lot of, you know, Alice in Wonderland, a lot of Wizard of Oz, you know, all that MK Ultra crap. You know, you're going to see a lot of that symbolism floating by, a lot of Tim Burton things floating by. You're going to see a lot of things, but the ones that you watch out for are definitely anything to do with Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz, all right? But if you look at the looking glass, in theory, and I don't know a lot about it, was the viewer who was seeing the future. Their perception of it was what they were changing, or that what they were seeing, and that somebody else could look at it, and it was almost like that mirror in Harry Potter, where they saw what they wanted to see, but with that energy, they helped manifest it. It was intentional thought, intentional thinking, but it gave them a heads up because they kind of had the playbook. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting right now, is that Weaver energy. And I keep getting the number 5, 5 in change, 5 in structure, 5 in power. Right now they're struggling for that fifth. I do see France falling. How, I don't know, but and I know this doesn't have anything to do with Atlas. I'm sorry, they're showing me it. I do see France, like falling, and I see something about Italy moving in, that Georgiana lady or whatever, like moving in, something, interception. I'm not really sure, but there is some kind of power there of the revolution, but the resistance. They're definitely giving me resistance energy. A lot of people might be struggling with, aches and pains, and, depending upon what side, where the wound is, right, left, mom, father, or which wound, and heart, a lot of blocked chakras on this planet right now that need to be cleared. That intentional energy needs to be cleared. I know I'm rambling. I'm getting a lot of information. But you've got that Weaver. You've got that Weaver, that creative energy, along with the trickster. So you don't want the trickster you want to set intentional, focused energy. Coming from somebody who digresses a lot, because I get a lot of information. So what you want to do is you want to take a breath. You want to pause. You want to look at it from the perspectives, and then make your decisions based off of there. The Fool was all about adventure in the tarot. It's about starting a new adventure. We're not there yet. We're closing out a lot of chapters. I keep getting the World. I keep getting the Chariot energy. I'm also getting a lot to do with the Empress energy as far as portals go. People, they're, I could get into a lot of things right now with, and feel free to comment if there's something that, you want to talk about. But, you get a lot of different energies, and I pick up a lot of different energies from, like Nyx, Odin, Merlin. I pick up a lot of different energies all the time. Persephone, I've been getting like the cyclical, finding the balance energy of late. And I do believe all of this is intensifying, as the 29th is going to be significant for Atlas, and people will notice the shift, that there is going to be a change. I'm picking up that November 19th is going to be really significant as well, as far as the shift and change. But I also pick up something to do with a discovery, getting closer to March, or in March, a discovery that will propel humanity forward with a plan. But I think this is all building up to what that discovery is, because you have to remember, we are creating our future. So be intentional, be thoughtful, kind, save humanity in the sense of where we develop. I don't believe that we will lose the consciousness, the single consciousness of humanity. I do know that they have seeded, but this is humanity on Earth with the dualities, the polarities. You've got so many different things that I could sit on here and talk about, but time is a constraint as far as human time and our benchmarks. So if you've stayed with me this far, God love you. But we are in for some changes, and this is the Heyoka, the messenger, the harbinger, and this is gauging us, where our seeds, what our seeds will be, and it's all leading up. So stay away from the window, be intentional in thought, stay away from any victim mentality, stay away from any down or negative energy. Think intentionally, focus on your present, and if there are choices, opportunities that are coming your way, how will it shape your future? You are learning, you're integrating it all into that 0 point. That 0 point energy, which in between the Vivica Piscis is definitely got us in that integration right there. Before we pull apart, we're right there in the in-between, and it's that 0 point energy that is got us and is going to give us our canvas and what we put on it. So there's a lot of ways that this can go, a lot of different ways that this can go. So we want to shift our energy. Stay away from the window. Stay away from the window. Stay away from the drama. Let all that unfold the way it's going to unfold. You focus your energy, kindness, love of yourself, love of others, service of others. Service of others is very, very important right now. Kindness to others. Perspective, understanding, that weaver, that creative energy, that nature spirit in between. The in between is kind of where we're at right now. And for that discovery on how mankind is going to move forward, we've got duality energy right now. Revelations don't necessarily mean that they're true. Got a lot of trickster energy. Got that coyote. Now, coyotes like to play. Coyotes are very strategic in thinking. So you have to understand that. This is definitely coyote. That great Heoka energy is what I am picking up. I can go into lengths on this. Once again, time constraint. I had to throw a lot of points at you. There is going to be a lot of things that are transpiring. 29th, 19th. Intentional thought, mindful thought, focus, keep it kind, keep it loving, get rid of the victim mentality, nature, laughing, dance. I've been picking up a lot of Manus energy, a lot of Manus energy. People, I don't know, some people are saying they're technology driven. For me, not so much. The energy that I pick up from the Manus definitely have been trying to get me to lighten up, laugh, sing, dance. That energy is very changing, clapping. Once again, they're showing me drumming on the 5th the beaver moon is going to be very important. Very important. Drum, laugh, sing, dance, celebrate. So let's push this in the right direction. And that's kind of what the consensus needs to be. A lot of star seeds are being activated right now. So at any rate, I'm going to end it now because we're at 33:04. And if you stayed, once again, God love you. I thank you. And I will see you in a few. Thanks.